oh, did this person suck? And you like, yeah, but you're talking about something else. And then that person, when they watch the episode, is calling you like, so you said this about me? Well, I'm like, what? I wasn't even talking about you in that scenario. Like, it's just so messed up how they do editing.
Oh, yeah, right. My name's Adam, and this podcast is about you and your journey in music, and we'll talk all about your new music video for Go Best Friend.
Okay.
Cool. I doing research on you. I saw that you are originally from Chicago.
Yes, I'm born and raised in Chicago.
Born and raised in Chicago. What was it like growing up there?
Living in Chicago, I feel like it's definitely built for the strong. The city definitely builds you up. And I feel like with being in the industry, Chicago is definitely one of the best places to come from because of the way our type of people are and how hard the industry is. Like they say, if you make it out of Chicago, like you one of the greats to make it out.
Okay. A lot of people trying to get out and break out of Chicago when it comes to the music industry.
It's definitely rough.
Yeah. Okay. What was it? So I did read also that you have big music going on in your family. A lot of influences there within your household, huh?
Yeah. My father, he was an artist. He was in a group with my uncle, and then I had a lot of other artists that are pretty popular around. And they were around me since I was really young. My mom was pregnant with me all the way up into 9 months. She was performing. So
really?
I had a
wow.
lot of music around me, a lot of music influences.
That's so cool. So dad was a musician and your mom was a musician? Or is a musician, I should say?
Yeah.
Wow.
My mom sang and my dad rapped.
Okay. And that's what they were doing professionally?
No, it was more just like, well, my mom, she was trying to do it professionally with two of her friends, and like they had got a gig with R. Kelly, and like they were just local, but like not taking it for sure, but like they wanted to do it. But my dad, he was like really a rapper, and my uncle really a rapper, so yeah.
That's awesome. That is awesome. I also saw that you play a bunch of instruments as well, don't you?
Yeah, I played the violin, the saxophone, the piano. That's pretty much it. But I played the violin the longest. That's what I really did like outside of school, and the piano I did outside of school also. The saxophone I did in school though.
Okay. When did you start playing violin? Was that your first instrument?
Yeah, I was like 8. My first music video dropped when I was 10, and I was playing the violin in there. So I had started violin when I was young. Me and my best friend, we did it in school and out of school. And then, yeah.
What drew you to violin? Just a fan of how it sounded?
I feel like my mom had put me in so many different things where she was just really letting me figure out what I wanted to do. Like I did every type of dance, every type of acting, performance, singing, everything. So violin was just another one of those things. It wasn't like a thing where I was like, oh, I'm going to be a violinist. Like this is what I'm going to take far. It was something I was just doing in school.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And then you also did saxophone in school?
Yeah, I did saxophone in the what do you call it? Like the choir. I played it during like the
like you're in the band, like the school
band?
band?
Yeah, the band. Yeah, I was in the band with them. But with the violin, I was in the band too. But I played the violin outside too because that's the one I took more serious. Like me and my best friend, we still just did it as like a hobby. We didn't want to be violinists per se.
Sure. Were you guys writing songs on the violin together?
No,
or is it just
we were
practicing
just
and
I never wrote a song to the violin. I had never done that.
Oh. Okay.
I don't know why I didn't think about that.
That would be kind of cool. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know why I didn't think about that back then. I was probably just too young and my brain hadn't expanded that far.
Sure. You should put it in one of your new songs. That'd be rad.
Yep. Yeah.
When I think of violin, like there's a lot of, very classical music that had violins, and then some of like there was a couple pop punk bands that added violin, but there's this EPMD song that has a violin, and it's called, I think, Symphony 2000. The violin part is so cool. It's like it sets like the tone for the whole song, and it just that's what when I think of when I think of a violin.
Listen to it.
Yeah, it's got like Method Man and Lady Luck in the song too. It's like it's got this rad like quick violin part that's like kind of the main beat
I can
throughout the
already
whole song.
imagine what you're saying, probably.
It's so good. You should look it up.
I am.
That's awesome. So violin into saxophone, piano, and you shoot a music video at 10 years old. So talk to me about that. Like you are like immersed in the industry right away.
Yes. 1 second. I don't know if that's playing in the background. I did my first video at 10 years old. It was my birthday, and I had all my family and friends with me. So we started at my birthday party, and then we went to like a candy store. Then we did like an outside scene and a couple other scenes, but it was a lot going on in the video for me to be that young. Like I had a real setup, and I was working with a very known videographer out the city at that time, and people were pretty shocked that I was able to get a video by him. But my dad, of course, had a lot of connects from already being in the industry. But I wouldn't say I was scared or anything, because this is something that I had asked my parents to do and that I was really eager to do. So me and my friends, we were more excited than anything to be on the camera and see how we was looking and stuff.
Sure, sure. Did you write in the song that you perform at 10? Is that one you wrote yourself?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So how long have you been writing music? That's incredible.
I've been writing music since I was 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
Lyrics, everything. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, you were on a television show for rap when you were 14, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's in itself impressive. Not only that you put a song out and you're writing since 6, but to put a video out at 10. And then after that video came out, like, what was it? How'd you get from there to being on a television show?
Well, after the video, I feel like my dad took me more serious, and like it was starting to talk around the neighborhood, like, because I was so young. So after that, I just started to post freestyles. My dad was really close with B. Simone, and now she's more on the comedy side. But when my dad had introduced me to her, she was doing 15-second freestyles, and he was like, it's this girl. He was like, I want you to check out her page and look at it. And I went to it, and I was like, yeah, I can do this. And then I started just looking up all the popular beats like around my city, people who were local, who I felt like I could get to, like 30,000, 40,000 followers at the time. So I started off small. I got all the locals to repost me, where I got my following up to about 100K. And then I started going for bigger artists and having like all my followers just spam the comments, like 2,000 comments tagging an artist, and different artists would see it. And when the rap game came out, you had to sign up for it. But the first season, no one knew about it, of course. And I was super like sick about it. And I was just like, I'm have to just keep posting these freestyles, having my fans tag JD, things like that. And once they were doing it, JD just started reposting it. He was like, season 2, and he tagged me. And then I was like, okay, like you still haven't hit me or nothing. Nobody knew about a season 2. Like, this is new. I was the first one he ever posted, like just for a season. So then after that, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna keep going hard. So then he posted me like 2 more times. So the third time, I was like, okay, it gotta be something, because he got everybody texting me, asking me, am I on the show? And I ain't heard nothing about the show. So shortly after that, they called and they were like, yeah, we used to come out for a week, for 3 months, and blah, 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 blah. And literally, we did not get a notice to a couple days before, like with the actual flight, the actual date, the location, and everything. So everything was like scramble mode and crazy, but I really built myself up before the show. Where on the show, I feel like the show was more of a, like an eye-opener, because a lot of the phases we went through, I had already went through with my father. I already had been trained for a lot of the things. So it really just opened me up to seeing, like, it's a lot of other artists. Like, you got to go hard more than what you're doing, because it's so many people next to you fighting for that same thing. So that's really what it taught me.
Wow. 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 Okay. So wait, we'll go back to this. This is a great strategy you had way back then. So you didn't have a big following, and you're reaching out to artists that have, 30, 40,000 followers and just saying like, hey, check out my stuff, or like you're commenting on their
I was remixing their songs. So like
oh,
people in my city who you may not know them, but people in my city, they were pretty like known, like not known, but like known.
Right.
I was doing their songs, having them reposted, and I was literally just doing everybody, because I knew I couldn't get to the Cardi B's and all that yet. So I knew that already. So I was just tagging the people who I was trying to get songs with at that point. So I'm just like, let me just do their beat and see if they'll mess with it. And and everyone loved it.
So you would use their
Instagram was 15 seconds, huh?
Oh, wow. So you just take their beat and then do your own freestyle over it?
Yep. And it was only 15 seconds. Like, I literally went back and looked at it. I'm literally doing like 5 lines. Literally, that's it. It was so short.
But that's what people's attention spans are now. I mean, you were like doing TikTok before it was a thing, it sounds like.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. And that just started to gain more and more eyes on you, it sounds like.
For sure. Definitely in the city, for sure.
Well, as your following goes up, imagine then, so then you have people that are in the industry that are kind of like, oh, what's this? What's she doing? Like, what's going on over here? So, and I feel like it's still similar to that now. Obviously, you got in very early, and you continue to grow your fan base. I mean, your fan base is massive, it's, online and everything else. But it's like, I think that's what people are trying to do now. Like, they'll try to gain, and record labels are looking for that, right? They're going to come to you. If you already have a proven product, they're going to be more apt to jump in, throw some money in, and support you.
Yeah, I feel like everyone now is just freestyling, trying to make videos and stuff. And I had stepped back, but I've actually been starting back. Like, I've been like 3 within the last week. Like, I've been starting back doing them, but it just got me, because it's like none of y'all was doing this. Like, I was freestyling for so long, from so young. The videos not everywhere. It was actually a guy. He made a compilation of me, and it was the first time I went viral, and he put it on Facebook, and he was like, who is this? I don't know how old I was, like 12, 13 or something. He like, who is this 12-year-old rapping like this? And he put like, it was only 15-second video, so it equaled up to a minute. So it was like 5 videos or something. And he put it together, he put the caption, and literally it had over 2 million views. And he DM'd me, and I was like, what the heck? I was like, how did this happen? Like, what's going on? Like, and I was so excited. And after that, I feel like everything was just going viral. Like, everything I was posting was just going viral. Like, that person who posted me really got my face known on Facebook. Like, my Facebook following is huge. It's like everything I posted goes viral.
Do you still post on Facebook?
Yep, I do.
Oh yeah, I would. Yeah. I mean, you have like 6 million followers on there, right? Over 6 million. That's insane to think about how many people that is.
Yes, I know. It's crazy.
Wow. Okay. So that started, was this pre-rap game at this time when this person found these videos and kind of made this viral?
Rap game.
Okay. So you said 12 or so.
Yeah, about 12 or 13. It was before the rap game. I just said 12, 13 because I was 14 on the show. So it was a little bit, it had to be in between that 10 or 14 mark. Okay.
Wow. When did you realize that you can do this? Just when you told your dad, like, hey, this is something I know I could do?
Well, when I started off with singing, and I was just like, I was doing songs and stuff, and my mom used to tell me I could sing, and then one day she told me to listen to myself, and I got really offended, and I said, like, this is terrible, like, I sound terrible, like, I have to rap. So when I started to rap, my dad was more scared because he already knew how the industry was. So it really took me to keep writing, keep making music, and keep showing this is what I wanted to do for, him even and everyone else to believe in me and take me serious. So I felt like at 6, I pretty much knew that I wanted to do something with music. But at 10, when I put that video out, it really I'm like, oh my gosh, like at 10, I was just like, I want to be famous. Like, I want to be famous so bad. Like, I want to be Nicki. Like, I want to be famous. And that's what I was saying back then. Like, but now I would never say that, because it's like, I of course I want to be known for my music, but the fame, I mean, that just comes with it. Like, but young, that's what I was saying. I want to be famous. And that's why they say, be careful what you wish for, because I really became known.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, now you've achieved that, right? And you achieved that at a very young age. I mean, having that viral success.
Become famous for at a young age.
Yeah. Wow. Well, tell me about your time on the show. You ended up winning it, right?
No, I came in on 2nd.
Okay, close enough, right?
Yeah. So my season was totally like rigged. Like, everyone said that about my season. Like my season had a lot of twists that like no one knows about. And it just was plain and simple that we all knew. Like our season was definitely it was messed up.
Okay. But to still make it to number 2, what was that like? Was it a lot of pressure on you, or were you just so used to doing, what you were doing?
It was a lot of pressure because we had really small turnaround times, and I was the only one on the show to never mess up, to never recite a verse. I mean, to never re-recite the same verse. Mm-hmm. And because every episode we met a new artist that we got to rap for, and then we had to do performances. So we would only have like sometimes 24 hours, sometimes, a little bit less or a little bit more. But to be that young, everyone was around my age. So we were all super young. So a lot of people, some of the people on the show, they had already had experience like me, but some didn't. And it was still hard for them because, I don't know. Bando. Sorry, my dog.
All good.
It was hard for certain people more than me because I was always doing freestyle. So my memorization skills were on point pretty much, where everybody used to come to my dad like, how is she memorizing? Can you tell us what she do? They would ask me and stuff, and I would explain to them how I do it, but it just has to be in you. Like, so my experience was overall good, but I felt in a lot of situations I weren't all the way portrayed correctly. It was definitely an experience. That's what I would say, because when I left the show, I said I would never do another reality show. Like, I
was gonna say, it is reality show, right? So
like,
they're gonna cut up
it's true, but like they would edit our verses so crazy, like put the first line with the last line. It's like, what the hell? That don't rhyme. Like,
wow.
It was so much stuff.
So that would screw around with what you did. They wouldn't even just take, if you were doing the performance piece, they wouldn't even take that all the way through.
Yeah,
it was like chop it around.
After the show, they had us like calling each other and stuff because they were putting words like, they would ask us a question, but then put the answer with, oh, did this person suck? And you like, yeah, but you're talking about something else. And then that person, when they watch the episode, is calling you like, so you said this about me? Well, I'm like, what? I wasn't even talking about you in that scenario. Like, it's just so messed up how they do editing.
Oh yeah, right. They I'm sure they asked leading questions, and like, I know they used to do that in the real world on MTV. They'd be like, oh, did you hear Nia saying this about you? What do you think about that? What would you think if she said that about you? And then you'd be like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And then they're like, snippet.
They top what they wanted. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man. That would be a difficult thing, especially at that young. I mean, 14 to be kind of used in that way.
It was a lot. Like my dad, he wasn't trying to say anything, and he got like most hated on the show rated. Like everyone on the show, well, not on the show, everyone off the show hates him from the show because of how he was portrayed. But they wanted to kick my dad off the show because he wouldn't do any drama, and he had to because he was going to get taken off the show. Like my dad is the type of person, he's a very shy, like nonchalant person. So when he had to do those green screen interviews, it was like his answers weren't juicy or enough because that's how my dad is. Like, he's not going to say that much. So they would do a lot of things where they're like, okay, now it's time for you to go in there and tell them, how do y'all feel about the hit list when they know that everybody pissed off right now? Like, they would just do little things because they like, we need more out of you. And it's like, it was just so messed up how more out of you portrayed because of the things that they wanted to do.
It's like less is more, and he knew that. He's like, why am I going to open my mouth too much and have?
But we didn't think about it to the end. Like, they couldn't have even kicked him off because of the contract. Like, we was literally towards the end, all of us, like even other contestants, we all started looking at different things. Like, it's a lot of lies they saying to us because it's not no way they could do that in the middle of the season like this. But we wasn't thinking about that at the time. Like, everybody at the end was like, wow, like we really could have stood up way more for what we did if we would have thought about it. But we were so focused on the next day and the next challenge, and they knew that.
Yeah, of course they do. And they know that they hold the power in the sense that you want to be on there because it's the platform, right?
Yeah.
And so how did that did that benefit your career? I would imagine it did, right? Having more
Oh
eyes
yeah,
on
it
you.
definitely did. I was on season 2, so season 1 and 2 probably have the most exposure for sure because it's the beginning. So it's like
Right.
people season 1 they want to see, oh my gosh, it's a new show, and then season 2 they're like, I'm dying to see season 2, and then after that, it slowly goes down, and it's not off the people at all, but that's just how the show went. At season 5, I think they stopped because the views were getting so low. Like the following from season 1 to season 5, you can see a tremendous difference in the kids because of the way that the shows are set up. Season 2 was a great season. We had the most celebrities, we had the most things going on because season 1 is a catcher, but season 2 you have to catch them. So they're trying to do everything on season 2. So season 3 they can lay back and they got their viewers already tuned in because they know they love the show. But season 2 is the season they had to do the real work on. So we got a great season out of it.
Yeah, that's a great point because the first season, if it doesn't do what they want, then it's like, okay, then this isn't going to get renewed, right? And then it did something, and they're like, oh, okay, well, we got another season. The network wants
it's like
another
now
season, so it's like we got to hit hard. We got to get the biggest names. And who was the most intimidating person to work with, or who were you like looked up to the most? And you're like, oh my gosh, can't believe I get to work with this person.
Queen Latifah, and it's crazy because she's the one of the co-executive producers of the show. But again, my season was the only season she showed up on, and that's another point to prove that it was so important that season. And I mean, for her to come on there, that was a really legendary moment. I feel like I wasn't nervous really until like I got up to her because I'm like, this is really Queen Latifah. Like, we had everybody on our season but her. I feel like that was a moment where I'm like, wow, like this is big.
Yeah, she's like next level, right?
Yeah.
I mean, not only is she huge in the music industry, but she also has this massive acting career to go with it. It's like she's got a lot going on. So from the show, what was next? Like now you have eyes on you. Are you like, okay, we gotta like? I mean, you're still pretty young, right? 14. So it's like, how do you manage all these new eyes on you? Are you putting out music right away? Like, how do you keep the?
I was definitely putting out music right away. I did a tour at 15 off the show. They chose like 2 people from each season, and they did like the 16 city tour. So I did that, and that was my first like real production tour. We were living on the buses, in and out of hotels. It was a real production. We had meet and greets every day. Like it was back to back, like no time to rest, interviews every morning. And it was with all the cast members. But at 16, I did a Sweet 16 tour where I got different artists from different cities who were popping, and we all just got on a tour, and it was Nia Kay's Sweet 16 tour. And we did about 10 cities. So that was really nice and really exciting because I was still really young. I was only 16, and I was still doing the freestyles nonstop. Then I took about a year break. And then now I'm 20, but around, I would say 18, I started like going back, posting and things like that. And then I ended up, getting signed, and I got my deal. And ever since then, everything has been on the right track. I just dropped my new single, you heard of, Go Best Friend. So it's a huge campaign going behind that. So I'm just super excited to see what the future holds because I definitely feel like it's my time.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you said you're 20, so 18 is when you started is that when you signed your deal? Is that what you said, or is it more recently?
I signed it at 19.
Okay, so did you sign it? You must have signed it like in the midst of COVID, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, it was during COVID. It was, yeah.
So how did that work? Like, how did that affect you? I mean, you have momentum going. You're like, okay, we're gonna do this, and then the world shuts down. Did that stop you at all?
No, it was right when COVID, this was recent. It was right when COVID was just like ending. Like COVID was still going, but it was just like dying down. Like it wasn't as strong as it was.
You could go out and see people at this point and everything. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just us when we were in the meeting. Like it was just us 3.
Did you work? Were you able to work over COVID? Did you just write a bunch of songs?
No, I wasn't able to work until like a month after, and I did like blocks out in the studio and stuff, and got a lot of work done. Like recently, I've been getting a lot done that I haven't even showed to everyone yet.
Wow, that's exciting. That is
Yeah.
really exciting. And you've done some acting as well. You enjoy that?
Yes, I was in a movie Every Day But Christmas, and then I did an episode on Empire.
Which is a
And
great show.
yes, and I love acting. Like, first of all, the money from acting is great. I still get checks from Empire from like 2 years ago. Like, I'm like,
Wow.
acting is a different level. Like,
Oh
acting is
yeah.
great, and I have fun doing it. Like, I feel like I just love seeing myself on TV. Like, that's really me. I really could do that.
Mm-hmm. That is cool. And then you've obviously kept up with the social media. Is that hard to manage all the time? I mean, that's got to be a full-time job for you.
Yeah, social media is definitely a full-time job because you have to daily keep your followers intrigued and interested, or you'll lose the following. So I would say social media plays a huge part in artists' lives and a huge time-consuming part as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine having that many followers and that big of a fan base that you have to like appeal to on a daily basis. Do you have to like plan for that? You're like, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna post this video. Like, how do you even
Yes,
manage
I
that?
do that. I'd be like, tomorrow I'm gonna record this, or this day I'm gonna post that, or I have a couple posts ready for this day, and this day. Like, I definitely do have to plan for it and lay it out a certain way because it will get, a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, you've been doing it for so long, right? With the 15-second clips, I'm sure that was pretty easily translated over to like when you started doing TikTok, because I know you have a TikTok page, but like,
yeah, I
that,
actually just started to really get into TikTok. I haven't really been like too into it that much.
okay. Oh, really? Well, I'm that's curious because you did it early on. I mean, you were pioneering the 15-second
Yeah, but
video.
now it's like I feel like I can't even do a 15-second rap. Like, I want to give more, and the attention span on TikTok is so small where like the mini videos don't do what they do on Instagram. So like I would literally have to do 15-second videos for TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah, your Instagram does very, very well, like everything you post. Is that something that you have to like, I would imagine your notifications are off because if you,
Yeah, they're off.
yeah, you do one thing and it's like your phone will probably explode.
Yeah, it's a lot. I never even see who's who.
Oh, yeah, you can't keep up with that. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. Well, so you have a new song out. It's called Go Best Friend, or in a new
Yeah.
video. And there's a big, powerful message at the end of the video and kind of throughout, right?
Yes.
So talk
The
to me
message
about the message and everything with the video.
the message that I really want to give out with Go Best Friend is just empowerment for women to empower each other, grab a friend, have fun, encourage the next person to feel as comfortable as you do, grab a bestie. And in the video at the end, it's a poster of me and JDRF because I have collabed with them. I have type 1 diabetes, and they're a diabetes organization who strongly believe in their people and want to see them do good. And that was like an automatic for me because I love the members there and how much they want to see everyone get tested and help them. So when I got a collab to partner with them, I was super excited because now I'm not only tapping into like the music world, I'm tapping into something that I have as well. And all those people are going to get to hear me who have the same thing now.
Sure. I mean, talk about another way that your fans can connect with you, especially, ones that have type 1 diabetes. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, well, she's getting through it and she's, got this big following and she's doing what she loves. I can do that. I could do that. Wow. 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 That must be hard in itself, like touring. And I bet you, like, I mean, I don't know. Is that's gotta be another hurdle, right?
What?
Like just in general, like having to worry about, blood sugar levels and eating and
Oh,
this, and you're on
yeah.
tour and you're on
Oh,
TV,
yeah.
you're doing all this stuff. There's not
But
probably
I've
a like
had
set
it
schedule to,
too. So it's kind of easy to manage because I've had this for so long, but it's definitely more difficult when I'm traveling because I'm on the move. So it's kind of like, oh, I gotta go do this, go do that while I'm doing this. But I feel like I handle it pretty well, yeah.
That's great. That's great. And is Ben on a newer song than Go Best Friend or no?
No, Ben I had dropped a while ago. Go Best
Okay.
Friend is the newest.
The newest. That's what I thought. Okay, I just wanted to double check my information here. So Go Best Friend is the newest one, and you've got a bunch of songs, it sounds like, right?
I'm sorry.
No worries.
Yes.
Just a bunch more songs coming out.
Yes, I have a lot. I'm actually dropping an EP soon. I don't have the exact date, but there's about 7 songs on there. Wait, how do I...
You're back. All good.
Someone called me.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I have about 7 songs on the EP, so my EP will be dropping soon with a lot of new music.
Very, very cool. Are you teasing any of it on your Instagram at all yet, or is it just still...
Yeah, I have been. I've been dropping snippets for sure to see what people like and how they feel about it.
That's cool. You get that instant feedback, right? I mean, you have your own like tests platform essentially.
Yeah.
Like a little focus group.
Yep. Exactly.
That's really cool. So yeah, EP coming out. What about live performances? Are you doing anything like that coming up?
I don't have any plan right now.
Okay. Just getting the records out and doing your thing.
Yep.
I love it. I love it. And I appreciate your time. Thank you so much, Nia Kay.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. I do have one more quick question. I want to know if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
Yes, I would definitely say to focus on you. Don't follow the trend. Don't try to do what the next person is doing. Don't focus on what the next person is doing. Follow your path. Like at the end of the day, you're going to find your lane with following your heart and your path. God has a different lane for each person. So if you try to rap like the next person and just do it because the next person is doing it, it's not going to work. You got to do it because you want to do it and find your niche and what your lane is. So I would say just be headstrong and don't trust anyone in the music industry because it's a cold game. Bringing it backward.